We're going to solve this linear equation with variables on both sides. We're going to start by dividing this equation in half along the equal sign. And now we're going to have to look at this a little differently because we have variables on both sides. So our first step is going to be to gather these variables together. Pick a side. It doesn't matter which side, but normally we're going to pick the left side so that our end answer can be x equal a number. So that means I want to leave this negative x that I see first where it is. And that means I'm now going to consider this negative 4x and think about how are we going to get this from one side of the equal sign to the other. And this is where those opposite operations come in. So this, while we say this is negative 4x, it is also minus 4x or subtract 4x. So the opposite operation there is add. We're going to add 4x under the minus 4x. So our goal again here is to cancel this out on one side by doing the opposite operation and moving it to the other side. So this is going to be plus 4x. Now, when I write this, I want to write it underneath the like term on the left side. Like terms are those that have the variables or no variable. Okay, in this case, we already have a negative x, so we're going to line those x's up. We're going to draw a line, and our next step will be to actually combine those like terms. Now, when we have a negative x, this is really a negative 1x. Okay, so negative 1x and positive 4x, when we put those together, that's going to give us 3x. Okay, so that's combining like terms with the variables. Let's bring down the minus 1. Let's bring down the equal sign. And we are going to confirm that what we just did by adding the 4x is indeed going to cancel. So negative 4x plus 4x, negative 4 plus 4 is 0. And 0x is just 0, which means you're done on that part. And then we're going to bring down the minus 5. It's okay if it's a little bit over. Okay. Now we have the variables on one side. So remember that coefficient that's there with that x, that 3 right now, you're going to save to last. So what is our next step to do? Well, we've got our x's together. That means pushing all the numbers away. So that means that this negative 1 that's on the side with the x is the next thing that needs to go. And this is a minus 1. The opposite operation is add. So we're going to add 1 here. And whatever you do on one side, you're doing to the other. We can line that negative 5 and 1 up because both of those are like terms. They are both constants. And we're going to draw a line and bring down what we can. So this is going to be 3x. And verify that you did this correctly. This should cancel if you did it right. So negative 1 plus 1 gives me 0. We're on the right track. Bring down your equal sign, and negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. So we are almost done. Again, the last thing to tackle is the number in front of x. That's our coefficient, and we want to divide by whatever that is. So in this case, that's 3. We're going to turn this into a fraction to divide. And whatever I divide on that side, I've got to divide on the right-hand side. And 3 divided by 3 is just 1. And if you've seen previous videos, you know we don't write the 1. We just write x equals negative 4/3. Now look how I wrote this real quick. I have the negative out front and then the fraction. If you are putting this in some computer system, that's typically how they want it, although they don't get super upset if you write it like this with the negative on top. However, a lot of systems are going to get upset if you write the negative on bottom. So I generally prefer to have it this way. The other point here that I need to make is that this is in an improper fraction format. Okay, which means that the number on top is bigger than the number on bottom. We are going to leave it like that as long as it's completely simplified and reduced. In this case, it is. There's nothing in between 4 and 3 in common, so that stays as is. If it's not completely simplified, you would do that first, but then keep it as an improper fraction. You would not want to write this as negative 1 1/3. Okay, so this is going to be the answer that most computer systems are going to want, and that's our solution for this problem.